This is for the, the application. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
That's when we kind of
Yeah.
settled in.
Oh, yeah, that's,
The work
yeah, that
session.
sounds good. Okay, that sounds good.
That's all right.
Yeah, with the volunteer, yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure.
All right, moving to second, any further discussion on item 2?
I just want to, can we at the work session take a quick gander through this? There's some numbers that I just have questions on, some were a little over budget and whatnot. I don't want to take up our time tonight. We've got a full list of things, but maybe at the work session.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then, call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? All right. This is when we have our organizational meeting for 2024. Something we haven't always done religiously in the past, but I will give a sort of state of the town. And as you all realize and know well, this last year has been a little bit different. Since we lost our town administrator, we had an interim town administrator, and we have a new town administrator. So we've been going through somewhat of a transition this year. And maybe it was good that it was in the middle of the year, ending up one fiscal year and starting a new one with a new town administrator. But anyhow, there have been ups and downs during the year, but we had a lot of good events in town, as you all know. We had the Canal Basin events, we had 4th of July was successful. Bateau Festival was well attended, and holiday happenings drew a lot of people to town. So we want to kind of keep that going for this coming year. The farmers market was real successful this year. They had a lot of new vendors and a lot of customers there on any given Saturday. As far as the workings of this body here, we had new committees established. The Emergency Preparedness Committee, Parks and Rec, back in operation. We have a new staff member that has been a real asset since she came on board. We have new members on our different boards, and we have a number of new businesses in town. The comp plan is coming right along. We had a really good time yesterday with the 3rd graders from Scottsville Elementary School. And I think they learned a lot about town government. Lincoln did a really good job with them. And the Boys and Girls Club was here previous to that. Tiger Fuel looks like it may be open sometime in the next 6 weeks. They're working hot and heavy up there. And our police department is doing a fine job as usual. So, you know, during this period of transition, I think we fared well. And so we just want to make 2024 better than last year. So that's kind of like a report on the status of the town. What other items do we need to cover under this, Mr. Town Administrator?
So I think during the organization meeting is set times and dates according to rules of procedure. So it's a good time for you guys to check your schedule and set up years.
Yeah, I know Mr. Hyson has a good list of things we need to talk about, and I don't know if we want to make that one of the items. We probably need a whole work session to cover all the things that you sent out in the email, you know, to make.
Which one about these times?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean.
Unless you want to go ahead and set time.
Well, I mean, I just want to propose.
I know,
For staff and.
there's different ways of looking at it,
Yeah.
you know, historically, I guess it's been 7 o'clock, and
Yeah.
now that the stoplight is at Red Hill Road, it takes a little longer to get.
Well, we can do it in the meeting. I'll file do it in the meeting if you want to talk more about it.
Well, is anybody have any objections to keeping it at 7 o'clock on the second, and third Mondays?
Well,
I just like to throw this out.
that's why I wanted to, I thought we were gonna do that at the work session about that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Do we need to take any action on that tonight?
Oh, I prefer we at least look at the other options.
Look at the other options.
Because
at the work session.
I do feel like I've heard from public, you know, it's too late for them and our staff have to stay 2 hours. And one of the things I discovered when I looked around is, you know, the work session, you know, maybe we could have that at 5 and keep the other one at 7 or 5:30 or something, because the public hasn't been involved in that. And
That's not doable. I'll just say, Bill, it's a 5 o'clock time. I mean, I
for
personally,
you,
yeah,
not just even once a month. You don't have the flexibility?
I do not.
Can you do 6, Dan?
I honestly, I think for me, 7 is the time maybe I could do 6:30. I think it's unreasonable to, one of the things you mentioned on that list, some of those are paid positions where people are doing that, so to speak. We're not, we're
Yeah, that's a
volunteers.
good point.
And I think the issue of us trying to kind of establish a time is reasonable to talk about a time, but generally speaking, given where we are, we're also, like, a lot of people have to travel to get here. Like, in other words, yeah, there's a few people that work in through seasons, I work at home and I'll be away a fair amount. So all that to say, me personally, where we are, a lot of those places are also places where it's like in a town that is like most of the workforce is there. This area, people are dispersed. They're working in Charlottesville, they're working in other places. And I would just say the 7 o'clock time has really proven pretty successful for the town. And
Well, I think it depends how you find success. How about Alex and Meredith? You guys, well, see, for us, for me, I could do it I could do it 2 in the afternoon because it's.
I have a really flexible schedule,
You do.
so I would prefer it at 6.
How
Maybe
about you?
6:30 is a compromise.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have everybody here, obviously.
How about you, Meredith?
6, I don't know, 7 works best for me. I think about 6 is, you know, if you have people generally, you have a public hearing, you got expecting people to come and speak about the topic, and they get off work in Charlottesville at 5 o'clock, and they're gonna have to hustle down here for 6 o'clock. Meeting 7 gives them a chance to get home, get settled, change clothes, get something to eat, and then come on over here. So, I mean, I'm flexible, that's not a
How
problem.
about you, Meredith?
I am also flexible. That being said, I don't want to be in a position where we're adding stress to an already
Yeah.
stressful life, you know, like, trying to rush out, for the people who aren't as flexible. I would personally feel more comfortable deferring to the people who couldn't make it earlier, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I would only say on this is that I don't mind keeping it at 7. But I always feel that we're pressured to wrap up by 9. And so if we're going to keep it at 7, then I say if we run late, then we run late, and there shouldn't be pressure to just get everything in and get everybody out by 9, because sometimes that's just not reasonable. If we start at 6, I think it's reasonable to try to get out at 9 when we have a really full schedule. So if everybody's okay, I would like maybe the group to consider a Tuesday instead of a Monday because of the holidays. We mentioned that last time.
I like that.
Long weekends, you
Yeah.
know, in the summers and stuff we could do.
Can I address that after you're finished?
Yeah, I'm done, but I mean, it's just a consideration. I can do either, whatever suits the group.
As far as the time goes, I work for the railroad, it's just 24 hours, so 4 o'clock in the morning is fine with me. But as far as the dates go, traditionally and according to everything we've been meeting on Mondays. We talked about this a few months back, didn't take any action on it. But the one thing I will agree that Albemarle County does is they have their meetings on Wednesdays. A lot of the holidays over the years, you know, even new ones, are celebrated on Mondays. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 times a year where we have to reschedule. If we have meetings on Wednesday, and I didn't look at this year, a whole lot. But we would only have to, reschedule 1 time next year.
I think Monday, or I think Tuesday and Wednesday are both fine to do. I think one thing we should consider though, is we might have to shuffle. Or the committees might have to shuffle their meeting times.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
And we don't
Alex.
wanna, I mean, I'm fine moving it. Wednesday sounds great, Tuesday sounds great, Monday sounds great. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion on when it should be. I think it'd probably be easier in the middle of the week. But
you know,
if
2029
planning commission meetings are-
will be the next time we have to reschedule one time, and 2030 was one time. So in the next, what, 6 years, we have 3 dates we'd have to reschedule instead of 3 a year.
Like
Yeah,
that.
not, you know, I don't wanna vote on it tonight, it's just something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that-
Well, I just want to say about your point, there are, when I looked at some of the other communities and they stay rated, and we do this with Parks and Rec, 11 to 12. And a lot of them go like 6 to 8, and that's it. You know, and maybe they carry over, but they have it built in that this is when the meeting ends at 8 o'clock. And so,
Do they meet once a month?
yeah. Well, work session.
I'm
We have a
uncomfortable
duty
with that.
to-
I
yeah.
know, you gotta have some
like that.
flexibility, you can't, but it's good to have that kind of norm of like, okay, this is a 2-hour meeting.
Mhm.
And we have a 1-hour meeting with ours, so, but
I mean,
anyway,
I think it's a good target to wrap up by 9, but I don't want to feel pressured.
yeah,
If we have a discussion or something comes on the agenda that is pressing, that we need to attend to, that we must get out of here by
Yeah.
9 o'clock. And that's the only thing I would ask of the group, if we keep it at 7, to just be flexible about the end time.
Mhm. And during work session, I don't know if there's any rules against this, but. As long as we have a quorum, there's no votes going on.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
someone has to leave, I
yeah,
think it should be appropriate for them to.
yeah, or if
say
somebody
they
doesn't show up.
go,
even.
And then we
Yeah,
can
because we're
continue
not
talking
voting, they
business.
can go back
Yeah.
to the video.
And they can, yeah. So maybe at least start, maybe we could start for a year and try it with the work sessions at a different time, maybe a different day and then think about the,
Do we have a conflict on Wednesday? Are there other meetings on a Wednesday?
We don't have any for the town. I do, I would be
Uh-oh.
Tuesday or Monday.
Tuesday or Monday?
And
Okay.
what meeting is that?
Scottsville Housing Authority board members, so once a month I have conflict.
Do they meet during the first 2 weeks of the month?
They meet, actually, in percent. Unless you change the weeks.
No, we would have the same.
If they meet the third,
No, they meet the second, and then we had our annual meeting, so I scheduled Wednesday with them. To avoid our schedule.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay, well, it's something to think about. We don't have to vote tonight.
Yeah, the other thing is, you
Also,
might
I-
want to talk to the planning commission to see if they're flexible, because maybe we could take their time if we wanted
On a
to.
Tuesday.
On a Monday or Tuesday, yeah, the first, because they're always first and maybe, you know, they.
We're the second,
maybe
and
they-
third, right?
Yeah,
They're the planning commission first,
Right.
and Aaron's the first Thursday.
Right.
the committees I'm on have some flexibility, you know.
Why don't we all think about it seriously and make a decision next month? Would it be
Makes
okay?
sense. Yeah, sure,
Sounds
let's
good.
discuss
The
it.
second Monday and the third Monday, right?
We're second, and third Monday.
Well, yeah, everybody put in their preferences and they'll put them in a hat, but,
But you said you're the second Wednesday?
Second Wednesday.
I mean, there's also nothing saying we have to do it back to back weeks, right? So if you
Yeah.
have a conflict the second Wednesday and we all like Wednesday, there's nothing saying we can't do the first and third Wednesday
Right.
of
Yeah.
the month,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
yeah,
I'll schedule whatever. Our work session
Yeah.
next month.
next-
Yeah, just put it on the agenda for
okay,
next
that'd be good.
month, and then we can vote on it the following session, if there's a change.
12 and 19, right?
Yes,
Everybody be ready at work session next month to put forth your best reasoning for changing the taking path.
Friday, 11 o'clock.
Well, I'm gonna use Alex's word to say, this is not a hill I'm gonna die on, so whatever the group decides, it's
Yeah.
fine by me.
Melanie pointed out the 12th and the 20th, because we have President's Day.
See,
there we go already.
there's a good, that's
Yeah.
the second time in 2 months now.
Right, that
That's
we've
a-
had to
Right.
A
reschedule.
good point.
And we got Memorial Day, Labor Day, no, it's always a Monday.
Okay, we'll move on to item 4, and that is the one that can be a little long in nature, and could we put that off to the work session also?
Yes, that's what I would recommend. And Javier, I was confused about what came through. That looked new to me. So if there's some change, can we just have the final version,
Yeah.
proposed version before the workshop, before the work session? So that I'm clear, that didn't look familiar to me yesterday. And that's why I said, I'm
Which
not
one?
sure.
The one that I sent, that I sent the one.
The
that-
one that Javier had attached.
Yours also, I copied the wrong one because I had some.
Oh,
versions
okay.
going.
Yeah,
And that was the email I sent back
Yeah.
to you this afternoon.
yeah. It's,
Oh, okay, it was the
the-
wrong version?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I did.
I sent it to you like that.
Oh, okay. But basically, I think we're just looking at the liaisons, not the.
Oh, you're gonna look
the
at the
doc-
liaisons tonight?
Well, that's the
We
only,
can.
that's the only thing we're looking, I think we could look at the liaisons. I don't,
All right,
we don't have,
I
The-
think
the
technically
document
at the
itself.
annual meeting, we're supposed to
do the
just
liaison.
reconfirm the
The liaison.
liaisons for
I
all
think
the.
the rest of that document has been there for a while about like what happens with provisions and stuff like that. And
But some of the things for, and I'm not trying to be
Right.
contentious here, Bill, but some of the things for government services looked new to me. So there was a lot more specifications
Oh,
on
those
what
are you mean
government service,
the subcommittees?
the VDOT and the this
Yeah,
and
the
the
VDOT needs
that.
to be changed. Yeah,
That, I think needs
could
to
be
be, it
changed,
just
right.
needs to be, this charter needs to be as simple as all the other ones are, I think. And the version I got, it was much expanded on
it
what
had
the
it had
responsibilities.
the subcommittees, right?
It had like web maintenance and
Yeah, that was,
VDOT
yeah,
and this and
that's,
that, yeah.
that's,
But
that
that
was,
shouldn't be in the charter,
well, it's,
not for the other committees, I think we should.
well, that's the only
consistency.
committee that has subcommittees. The government service, you don't have a subcommittee, I don't have one.
Yeah, but if I did, I wouldn't put it in my charter. Right, I mean, that's.
Well, it's
something.
kind of
So
listed.
it's something to take up at the work
Okay,
session.
Okay,
I don't want
well,
to
that's,
get,
actually, I could bring it to government services, see if they want to, because they've been working on that for years. But, that's good, but anyway, maybe we could just cover the liaisons.
yeah, I think we can do that. That should be quick.
So item 5, do we want to do that at work session 2, or do we want to do it something?
Well, no, we're gonna finish the liaison.
Can we do the liaison
That's
just
on
quickly?
So I guess, go through them one by one. I don't know if there's anybody wanting to. Well, then we'll start with Alex. You still want to be ARB?
You good
You're
with
the
AR?
president of some events. Do you want to take this?
I'm good with, right now, I've got my hands full.
Well, I was gonna,
Prepared.
We'll talk
because
about that in a
I'm
minute.
kind of unofficially doing it right now anyway,
Which one there?
events.
Yeah.
Why don't you take that as?
So.
You want to be the liaison?
Right.
for
I
the-
think we do need that.
Yay.
Do something on beautification too.
I was doing
Can you
beautification, but
be-
then I stopped because of my work schedule. I could kind of wrap that into events.
See how, when the spring gets here.
Yeah.
and
Well,
whether it's-
And I'll help you with that if you need help too, maybe.
Okay.
We need
Oh,
a
and
liaison with you.
Beautification, I had I'll be honest with you, it was a lot easier getting committee members for events than beautification, because I think there were a lot of hurt feelings about the butterfly garden, if I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
I had a lot of people who I approached were upset that they had put in hours and hours and weekends and all this time and effort into beautification, and then it wasn't kept up, and why were they gonna do it again? So when I was doing beautification, it was kind of just me going around planting flowers in
Yeah.
the, in the tubs and
We can
stuff.
get the Boys and Girls Club back involved.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and in fact, I have some people who have approached me about redoing the butterfly garden, so there's about 4 or 5 of
If
us.
there's people
who
who wanna
wanna
do
go
it
over
again,
there
yes,
and
that's what I'm
redo that
having
in
a hard
the
time,
spring.
Let's come up.
people who had done it before and then it,
These are new people.
excellent.
Maybe we can fold kind of the hybrid events and maybe events and volunteer staff, so you could do beautification.
Yeah, good idea.
projects.
Okay.
So we need a liaison for anything that happens in the town, whether it's events, whether it's beautification, whether it's cleanup. Just like we did with the parks, we can't have a park club do maintenance of the park. We had to have a committee to coordinate. And also, there's money involved. And so maybe we could do that. I like that, Alice. And then anything like that, even if you don't have a committee, you're the
The
contact.
contact
You're the
for
person to
stuff
go
that's
to.
going on.
Yeah.
that'd be
I'm
good.
comfortable with that, sure.
Okay,
Just
good.
like you're the contact for the financial committee there.
I seem to be contacted.
For the business committee.
I'm listed as, a liaison on the emergency preparedness committee along with you. It's not necessary.
And that's never been approved either.
It's
Yeah.
not necessary for me to be a liaison.
Right,
I
that-
can be in the
yeah.
committee, but
Right.
And just on another side, we may have Eddie not be a liaison for the government service committee. Because we got a couple of people who want to be on there. And we like to keep the committee's numbers to 5. And since I'm the liaison there, it's kind of redundant to have both of us there, and Eddie can't attend that very much either. So- So-
Maybe Mr. Payne could be vice chairman of the emergency committee.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. But anyway, that's, we don't have to decide it today,
If
but I think,
Eileen gets tied up on something, you can run the show.
Yeah.
The only thing I regret would be losing my, weekly contacts with the police.
you still do that. You still do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can work that in
Yeah, you
somewhere.
still-
Or
Yeah.
you can,
Public safety could be different than government services.
Well,
Can we refold it back
That's what I was
into
thinking.
emergency
I was
preparedness?
thinking that too. Why not make
Oh,
public
public
service?
safety makes much
and
more
just move
sense
it
with
over that
emergency
way.
Yeah.
preparedness.
Okay.
And then you can be,
'Cause-
still be the liaison for public safety, but it's under the umbrella of,
And now you do
Emergency.
have a subcommittee.
And you know, just
I feel so important.
to be upfront, we don't meet with the police anymore because since he's so involved in the town council. He doesn't.
Ed
he-
meets.
No, I'm talking about the chief doesn't come to our
Oh,
meetings.
to
anymore.
the.
He used to come to our
government
meetings,
services, Right.
but now he can come to your meeting.
Well, he was at the last workshop, but he
Yeah.
usually
he
doesn't
comes
make.
to every work session.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
So we don't need a public
Yeah.
service committee,
I
I mean, public
meet with
safety.
him every week, and haven't been doing that as regular, and you meet with him every week, and then if he can't be here, you give his report.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
so we could take that off the government, that help to cut that back anyway.
I'm happy.
All right.
Okay, we'll do that.
So we'll fold that in.
Yeah,
So can we just recap?
let's go to the other, let's go to the liaison. Let's start with
So
Alex.
Alex is gonna stay with ARB, right?
Alex?
Dan, you're gonna stay with planning?
Happy to do the planning.
Good.
Sure.
Meredith is gonna be events and the contact point for beautification.
Yep.
The mayor stays on economic development. Bill is government services
And parks.
and parks. I'm,
Unless somebody else wants to do government services,
emergency preparedness,
no, I'll do that.
and then Eddie is public safety.
Well, it's a double, you're gonna have both.
But we're gonna fold it
Hold on, like, so
into,
you're
but
stealing
he's
it from
still
us.
the liaison for public safety, so if there are
But she-
questions, they should go through Eddie, right? Is that
Okay.
okay?
That's.
For public
happy.
safety.
Everybody else happy with that.
I think,
I'm
I think
fine with
that,
that,
The public safety is under ETC,
yes,
we got evidence.
yeah, so that,
we gotta have our 3 letters.
so we got all,
All right, so is there anything else we need to do on that?
You gotta require a vote.
It doesn't require.
Okay.
well, it's the side.
And you're stuck with the vice mayor for another year, right?
Yeah, Eddie.
Vice is my thing.
The government services, we don't have enough committee members to do, but the government service does take on the web and the ADA and the financial. I guess we could keep that as subcommittees or just our functions, but those would be committees, if we could ever get somebody to do those committees. That would free that committee up a little bit,
Yeah.
financial, web and ADA, of course, we don't do ADA too much.
Well, then you should take ADA on.
If you're,
Maybe put that in the parks.
if you're a committee chairman and you have a member you want to do a specific task, you appoint them to do that.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't
Oh, we
have to
did
come
have
through
one,
us.
she left.
Like I told you before, when I was on Government Services Committee, once a month, I'd come over and reconcile the checkbook. That was my job,
Mhm,
just to come in.
Yeah.
double
And
check.
do that.
Well, that's the thing.
yeah,
Anyhow, so let's move on.
all right, item 5.
Nothing else on committees right now, so let's go on and, Council member Morse is gonna read the words of wisdom that put us into a closed session.
Okay, are we gonna we skipped 5, are we
Yeah, let's
not
do
doing
that.
5?
And I don't,
I'm sorry,
that's 5, we need to do 5. And
resignations
I-
for boards and commissions, we're
Wanna
doing
do
that
that
work
tonight?
session?
Or do that tonight, or do?
I
we
think
need
it's
to talk-
work,
We need to talk about it anyway.
well, we need to get it,
I have
corrected.
comments on,
it's
Okay,
not,
wanna do it at
it's,
work session?
I think
Is that
work
okay?
session.
and he didn't have the right version of government service.
okay, let's move to work
The
session.
one I sent
Work
you,
session.
maybe you could send that to everybody, that one,
Okay,
All
now,
right.
or
if,
give it to them before they leave.
if, nobody has anything else right now, that's all right. So, You have a question?
Oh, Bill was saying if you could get it before
Oh, yeah, the other, the bird,
No, I think because it was the wrong version. it
I
was
could just, I
omitted.
could just tell you what was wrong with it. It was,
Let's get a corrected version. of what
Right,
it should
okay.
be, and that way everybody can read it at the same time.
Yeah,
okay.
and I have some comments on that, so I'll save them for the work session then.
Well, okay, is
All right, so are we ready to move into closed session?
everybody ready? Okay.
All right,
Yeah, if you can read Javier's writing there, if not.
I move that the council enter a closed meeting as authorized in subsection A of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711. Specifically, the subsection assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body for discussion of performance, maintenance staff, and performance of town administrator.
Okay, you moved, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're in the closed session, so make sure that door is closed over there.
Those videos off.
Yeah, we'll probably